But those people, they didn't have that attitude. If they would have become a product of the product, they would be here today. But they didn't. So it's very easy, and it's very justifiable why the 60,000 aren't here. So what we focus on is finding those and working with those that do fit that, okay? All of that covers up something. It covers up the fact that it's just not easy. You know, I've got, and it's funny, and I'll share this, and she doesn't mind that I share that, but I have my aunt in the room here today, and this was in 2002 at Christmas time. You know, I never had anybody in my family join the business because I knew how tough it was. And I didn't want to have the responsibility of having someone come into the business, you know, because then you go back to Christmas and you're like feel awkward, you know, they're sitting there, you know, it's like, yeah, they didn't make, you know, and so, you know, she came and she saw the lifestyle and, you know, she was in a transition, had, you know, 2 daughters that she wanted to spend more time with, and that thing came up, like, I want to do Herbalife. And it was almost like a good news, bad news kind of a thing. Like, part of you's happy inside, but the other side's like, are you sure? You know, are you sure it'll pass? You know, can you pass the eggnog, please? A little bit more eggnog over here. Oh, look at the Christmas tree. Doesn't that look nice, you know? But no, she really wanted to do it. And part of the difficult thing was knowing that chances are that she falls into the statistics, even though she's my aunt. You know, that's just the reality of it. It's even harder because I'm going to probably even want more that she doesn't become one of the statistics. But, you know, the reality of our business is that way. So, you know, how many of you have had people that joined your business that were close to you, family or friends or something like that, and, you know, you almost wished for a quick death for them in the business? Yeah, like, you know, because then if someone joins the business and you go home and they go home and you call them the next day and they're like, oh, no, I decided it's not for me, then it's like, whew, because you know up front. And then you really know that that's true. You see, they just weren't committed. You see, they didn't have the right attitude. If they couldn't deal with their wife, there's no way they're going to make it in Herbalife. Okay? If they couldn't deal with their husband and the negativity in the family, there's no way they're going to make it. So it's almost like if it's a quick and sudden death, it's better because all of this rings more true. Yeah, Deb. Right. Yeah, there's definitely that part of it. You know, so it's just if it's quick. Now, what happens when they end up being the right people? Think about that. I mean, that they end up being the ones. Think about in your organizations, the Get team, the World team, the people you have hanging around, but yet they still don't seem to be moving, and they're still in a struggle and still financially and so on. Doesn't it get... Yeah, it gets to a point where it's difficult to be with that. You know, it's like you want it, but is it going to happen? So there is that. So what if all of this, okay, and I want you to just think, you came into this. This was not something that we decided was going to be what it took in Herbalife, but it's almost like somewhere along the way, those numbers, the fact that we're going to lose 9 people out of 10, that it was almost like if we're going to lose 9 out of 10, you know what? We sure as heck better find the ways of keeping as many as we can keep. So we need to create this group of people that culturally become very, very hard, very committed, very solid. And I'll be honest with you, one of the things, if we look at Herbalife, we say this time and time again, we literally have the best trained, strongest distributors in the world. It is an absolute truth. It is unbelievable when you go country to country and you see the distributors and you see their commitment and you see their discipline and you see how they work. Really, the reason why we have the success we have today, or a great part of that, is because we are the best trained, the most disciplined, the most committed people. And yes, we have the most incredible products. And yes, we have life-changing products. And yes, we have a magical business that can be unbelievable for people. We have all of that, and that's all a part of Herbalife. Here's the question. What if it wasn't that tough? What if there's something that we're not looking at? What if there's something that we're not seeing that could shift to have it not be that way, to have the numbers shift from losing 90% of our people to even maybe 50%, or keeping 90%. Yeah. Now, how many of you find that inspiring? You heard just what happened in the room? Yeah, 90%? Whoa, yes. We're with you on that. Okay, so to do that, and you know what? Here's what's important. Nothing is wrong. You've got to understand all of these things that you have learned and that you've become, that have you being here in this room, being here at one more event, being here committed, those are extraordinary ways, attitudes, behaviors, ideas, thoughts, and ways of dealing with our business. So all of this really shouldn't go anywhere. It really shouldn't. All of this put into something that will shift our business and have the business itself look differently will create the most unbelievable thing in the world, in my opinion. Okay, so let's look at this. How many of you, well, let me ask you this. What are you guys feeling in the room right now? Possibility? Okay, why do you say possibility? Who said possibility? Got it. Well, no. And okay, good. Good. So Tony, so let me go off of that. So how many of you have a sense of what Tony's talking about? Totally, like a fear of bringing people in. You know, like a fear of, and it's funny, we wonder why our people, our downline, don't go to their friends, their circle of influence. Isn't that the hardest thing that we have? A lot of it has to do with that. A lot of it has to do with that. They don't want to, who wants to bring their family into a struggle to make it? Who wants to bring their family into an eventual deception or you know, it's just not, it's not something. So Tony, thank you for your honesty, because that's a very honest thing to say, and to be honest with you, I think that everybody does feel that way to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So thank you very much. Okay? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So DJ was talking about the level of inauthenticity. So what you're bringing up, it's the same thing. You know, we tell people, hey, you know, sign on the dotted line, you know, start working from home. It's going to be unbelievable. You're going to have this incredible life. And you know what the funny thing is? If people knew what our lives look like, they wouldn't sign. You know what I mean? They're like, you mean I'm going to be spending all that time away from my family and juggling everything in my life and, you know, up that late and doing that and all of that to have that result? Okay? Yeah, maybe. There you go, Sherry. Maybe. On a chance to have that type of result. So there really is this situation or this level of inauthenticity that's there. And the funny thing is those people, they get it. They know that it's there. And that's why a lot of people say no, because they don't buy what we're saying, because there's a level of inauthenticity that's there. Okay? Yes, Meg. Right, you're getting set up for freedom. Right. And the reality, Meg? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, very good. We always knew that women were more sensible than us men. We knew it was true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, very good. So there's a level of upfrontness about what it's going to take, okay? Definitely. I mean, that makes a huge difference when you're actually bringing people in, okay? So in general, you guys are feeling like there's maybe something else possible as a result or a way of building a business or just a way of building your Herbalife business that could look not just like struggle. How many of you are kind of feeling that right now? Okay, very good. So here's the thing. Let's talk business now. We're going to move on to a side of it because the struggle's there for a reason. Okay, the struggle's there for a very logical reason. And instead of having ourselves be more about that, about how to be with the struggle, be better trained to be with the struggle, to train our people better to be with the struggle, okay? Instead of just focusing on that, what if we focused on what was missing from our business to have it not be a struggle, okay? And to do that, we need to look at the marketing plan. Because the marketing plan, and we're going to look at the marketing plan, and then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to fulfill on the marketing plan. Because what has us in the struggle most of the time, it's the fact that we've got a place that we want to get to in the marketing plan, or the fact that we want to grow a business, but it just doesn't seem to be that easy. That's really part of where the struggle comes from. I mean, you know what it takes to get to the GET team. You know the numbers, you know the volumes, you know everything, and maybe you've been a world team for a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 4 or 5 years. You know exactly what it takes. You know that you need that 20,000 volume points 3 months in a row, but between knowing what it takes and having it happen, it's a different world, isn't it? Okay, now, how it happens most of the time for people is they happen to get a couple people that are committed like them, that get into the thing like them, and then all of a sudden, by some magic, it happens. Okay, but it's not really a controlled happening most of the time. Now, I'm not saying that you didn't have any control in getting to the GET team, because you did. Like, you had to sign up the people, you had to, give the trainings, you had to go to the meetings, you had to promote the events, you had to promote the promotions. You took action to do that. But the result that you got was based on people, what they did, and continuing on what they did. Like, not that they did it enough and you did 3 months, like 3 months or 3 years to the Millionaire team, but then another 1.5 years to get a Millionaire team bonus, or 6 years to the Millionaire team, and then another 3 years to get my check up to the level of President team. So the marketing plan, a lot of it has to do with really how we fulfill on the marketing plan. So I'm sure you're all very familiar with this, okay? Leslie, the 3 that get 3 that get 3, the 5 that get 5 that get 5. Everybody's familiar with that? Okay? The Herbalife business model is based on distributors purchasing volume from them. Okay? And that's really the Herbalife business model. The Herbalife business model at this point in time is not based on customers purchasing. It's based on distributors purchasing volume. And we are paid through the marketing plan. We have levels through the marketing plan. And that volume that gets purchased from the company in our organizations, that is going to give us what our business results are. That is the Herbalife business model. That's the way that it works, okay? And we work that model through the marketing plan. You get to supervisor, you're at 50%. You get a downline distributor, they buy volume, you make between 8 to 25% on that. You get a supervisor, you do your 500 or 1,000, and you get your percentage on the volumes. But it's all based on distributors purchasing volume from Herbalife. That's what it's based on. what happens after the purchase, okay? Not that the company isn't interested in that, because they're hugely interested in what happens after distributors purchase volume. But at the time of the purchase and when the computer runs, the results are based on the purchase of volume, okay? So if we look at that, I want you to think about your business, okay, and think about your organizations and all the business, the volume that's purchased from the company, from your organizations every single month, okay? How does that volume, how is it broken up? You know, like how much percentage do you think is from new distributors that signed up that month or the month before that bought some volume? How many of the volume in your organization comes from, let's say, distributors that qualified supervisors? How many of that volume was purchased from supervisors that bought their 2.5 because they had downline and they wanted to get their checks? Okay? How many of the volume was purchased because a distributor had sold out their products? They needed to purchase more products because they needed to service customers. How much of the volume was purchased because there was a qualification? You know, they had done a certain amount, but they purchased a little bit more because of a qualification. If you start to look at that and how much volume is purchased from the company and your organizations, you get a general sense of where the volume's coming from. Like if I look at, you know, the 2.7 million volume points in my organization, I can see, just given by the situation, what's happening. Because, you know, on the last report that's run, for those of you that are Millionaire Team or for the Million Team, there's a report that we receive, and that report gives us at different times during the month, and that's thanks to Bruce Peters, who's in the room here, the volumes that are actually purchased. And today with BizWorks, you and your downline organizations, you can look on a daily basis. But what's interesting when you're looking at it from kind of the points of the month is that normally at the end of the month, I have anywhere from 1.2 million to 1.5 million in the computer, and then guess what happens in the last 2 days? Boom, it doubles. It doubles. So where do you think that volume is coming from? Percentage new supervisors that are joining the business, very large percentage. Percentage also existing supervisors that are purchasing to do their 2,500 volume points to get whatever level so that they can earn their royalties. And that's really the reality of it. What happens up until then, there is some of the other types of volumes that are going on, but the reality is that, and I can only talk for myself, not generally, but probably there's a general thing, you know, in my organization of probably, you know, I'd have to say 60% of the volume is people that are coming in. In my organization, I have about 250 supervisors a month that are joining the organization, okay? It's a large amount of volume. It's 1 million volume points that's purchased just alone on people qualifying supervisors, okay? Now, also, 70% of my supervisors are doing nothing. Yeah. So it's a lot of supervisors that purchased to become supervisors, but finally they end up not doing anything. So they're in and they're out. So if we look from a stable business, so first of all, yourselves, do you guys have new supervisors every single month? Okay, some of you might. Some of you, honestly, your level of activity, your level of recruiting, you know, the level that you're working at, you may have a supervisor or 2 or 3, you know, and every single month have that happening. For the majority of people, they don't, okay? So if your volume in your organization is based on supervisors qualifying, okay, like in a big part, do you think that it would always be stable? It wouldn't, right? Because you couldn't, there's no way of having everybody systematically break one supervisor to have that stability. And systematically to have those ones, the people that were broken the following month to do, and so on and so forth. So if we were talking from an ideal world, okay, and this is part of, you know, being with, that if we're going to create the fulfillment of this, we've got to look at what would be the most ideal, stable growth model possible for us, okay? What type of volume would be the most ideal volume to fulfill the marketing plan with? Like the ideal volume. Okay, so Herbalife, so Alan, David, Herbalife sets for us something called 2,500 volume points, right? They set it. Like that's, we don't choose how much we get to do to get our royalty checks. It's like predetermined, okay? That is like what the goal is for every single supervisor in the company. And trust me, after this weekend, it's going to be more the goal than ever, okay? But that is the goal, okay? That is the goal, that every supervisor does 2,500 a month. Why? Because that gives them the rights to their royalties. So here's the situation. That 2,500, your organization of supervisors, what's the best type of volume that could be purchased from the company? Okay, so let's go on. So retail. Now, in retail, now are you saying that if they were purchasing 2,500 that they were going to sell that month, that would be like the best possible thing? Okay? All right. So now, don't get me wrong in saying that someone purchases 2,500, that's the best thing, that's better than breaking a supervisor. It's just a different thing. Okay, we're talking about the stability, okay, of stable business growth. The supervisor, they may get one, they may not. That's where we're talking instability. Okay, we're just talking that if someone every single month had 2,500 volume points that was sold, okay, that would be an ideal way to fulfill on the marketing plan. Now, sold to new customers, reorders. Yeah, because think about this. If every supervisor in your organization at the beginning of the month, they knew by the end of the month they already had 2,500 pre-sold because they have a customer base of people that are buying from them every single month, that would be like an ideal situation, wouldn't it? Would they ever have a concern for personal volume? No. It would be like, think about this. If you had your personal volume every single month done, pre-sold, what would you do during the month? You'd have choices, wouldn't you? Your choices would be, you know what? I'm going to take that 2,500 and I'm going to go up to 4,000 now. Or your choices would be, you know what? I'm going to go out and find a couple of people that I can start working with to build my organization. You'd have total freedom because that volume would already be done for you. It wouldn't be, gee, am I going to be able to, get my volume this month because Sally's doing this and that and I don't want to miss out on that volume. It would just be total freedom. Okay, so that would be the most stable business that we could ever hope for or want. Does that mean that that's what we're talking about, just doing that? Let's not be ridiculous. Honestly. But if you did that, you would have so much time to go out and do everything that you wanted to do, to work with your people, to go recruit people, to go get more customers, honestly, but the thing about getting your personal volume at the end of the month would be resolved, okay? Now, when I say that, what do you guys think? Like the reality today, okay? Let's talk about the reality today. How many of you, every single month, you have right now 2,500 volume points or more pre-sold, like your existing customer base, that's already managed. How many of you? Okay, so a handful of you here do. I don't know what the statistic would be in the company, but if I looked at my own organization, I would say the people that have that situation going on, I don't know. It's a percentage, maybe 2. I don't think probably more than that. So 99% of my people don't have that going on. Okay, and I would estimate that worldwide, globally, who knows? Over 90% don't have that. Why is that? This is the big question. Why? Why? Very good, because our retention is not good enough, right? If we can say that. How many of you have been in the business for over a year? Okay, how many of you have sold to during that period of time or during your whole Herbalife career? How many people have sold to over 100 customers? Look around the room. How many have sold to over 200 customers? 300? 400? Okay, let me ask you this. If anyone, How many customers do you have today that buy from you? Just give me Amy for you, for example. About 35? Okay. Sherry, how many customers do you have that buy from you? 18? Cindy? Around 35? Okay. Sergey, Lana, how many customers? 40, 45? Michelle, what about you? About 20? Okay. Glenda? 60? Okay. Jerry, what about you? About 30, 35? Okay. Mary? About 10 customers? Okay. Tony, Yvonne? More or less the same? Okay. Ellie, what about you? About 20? Yeah, and by the way, that's, I would have to say that's great. Because if I was at an STS and I asked the question in the room, how many of you have 10 customers that buy from you every month? I promise you that you have less than 10% of the room that raises the hand. How many of you have more than 20 customers? I promise you have less than 5% of the room that raises the hand. So here's the situation. Our retention on customers, in French we say pas terrible. Okay, we say not great. Yeah. That literally people could have sold to 200, 300, 400, 500 people over a period of time, 1,000 people, and yet today people purchasing products from them, they only have a handful. They've got 10, 20, 30, 40 people. Don't you think that's one of the reasons why it's so tough to make it in Herbalife? Really? I mean, if our customers stayed with us, who would leave money on the table? I mean, who would quit if the customers were going to stay and just keep buying? So if we can answer the question to why the retention is bad, and we go on the foundation of, hey, we want to build a business plan to fulfill on this occurring, okay? What is it going to take to have each and every supervisor with the training, tools, structure, information, everything necessary that over time they can build their customer base to have pre-sold every single month, 2,500 or more? What would it take to have that happen? If you answer that question, you resolve that, you transform your business. You transform it. Don't you think that if every one of your supervisors had the way to go out and make it happen, to build a customer base, to resolve that they would do it? Let me tell you one of the reasons why they'd do it, because they'd be putting good money into their pocket every single month. Here's the other reason why they'd do it. Because if they could do it, guess who else could do it? Everybody in their organization. But for now, successful people in retailing in our business, it's a very small percentage. Trust me, I used to pray that I would find those people. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, how many of you have ever had this sense? You know, it's like there's those natural kinds of people, the natural selling kind. Yeah, like they talk to anybody, anywhere, and they sell. And it happens for them. It's just like a magical thing, you know? It's like, and you know, when you get your distributor and they sign up and they buy a Success Builder order, they become supervisor, you start to pray. Yeah, you start to pray. And this is the prayer. Please let them be one of those. You know, the kind that just by some magic, they're good at selling. Because if it's, you know, because then if that happens, and then they call you up, and they said, you're never going to believe it. I talked to 5 people, they all bought the products, and you're like, yes, I got one of those. Isn't it true? Because for the majority of our people, it's not like that. The majority of our people, that's not the way it goes. The majority of our people have a difficulty in selling products in general, okay? You know, and then so we say, well, okay, but if they recruit someone, you know, they're going to be excited enough, and maybe if I can just help them to get a sale, then it's going to happen, and they're going to stick around, and then I'll have the time to do my stuff on them. Like some will, some won't. So what? Someone else will. Don't worry about it. No problem. They didn't buy? No problem. Okay? We'll do this stuff. But keep them around long enough to get the stuff. Okay? So, yeah. That would. Are you guys taking notes in the back there? Listen, if you guys would just resolve follow-up for us, our job would be so much easier. I mean, come on, what are you guys doing? All right. And believe it or not, they do think about that 24/7 too. So don't, they got that, they're thinking about that. Okay. So what if we spend some time thinking about why? I mean, how many of you could see that if sales became something that was duplicatable, that with tools, training, structure, support, that every supervisor, and they wouldn't have to be the special people. Like it would be something that everybody could learn, something that everybody could do, and it would produce results. Okay? How many of you think that that would be something that would change our business overnight? Okay? Yeah, no kidding. What that would do for retention would be unbelievable. Okay? So, first of all, let's look at why. What are some of the reasons why we could have a hard time keeping our customers? Any ideas? What? Not listening. They don't listen to us, or we don't listen to them? Okay, we don't listen to them. Okay, both ways sometimes, right? What are some other reasons? Very good, Amy. But but if you're a good distributor, you tell them, no problem. Don't worry about it. No problem. Great. No, here it is. It's working. They expect faster results? Okay, they don't get the results they're looking for. Okay, what else? They're confused. Okay. So we're not doing a good enough job on follow-up. What would you say, Alan? Lack of? Or what did you say? Okay, they're temporary. Okay, great. We give them unrealistic expectations. Okay. Or they already have them.
Too much work.
Yeah. Nikki? Like there's something wrong with them of being a user of the products? Okay. Not getting the results? Right. But we're talking customers now. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking. Okay. Yeah, Meg. Yeah. Okay. Good. So there's the fact that they come in as a diet. So, like all the other diets. What happened on all the other diets? It didn't work. They stopped, right? What's Herbalife for them is what? Another diet. And then hopefully we do convert some of them. Okay, so let's look at it from just wanting to lose weight to understanding, being aware of nutrition and wanting to have them continue. So let's move forward because we've got to get to a couple important things here. All of our product line. Look at all of the product line that Herbalife has right now. Okay? Think about people that will continue to use our products forever. Who are those people? Who are they? Who are the people in the world, in the United States today, that use nutritional products every single month? Who are they? How did they get that way? And where are they buying from? Some athletes will use them. Why do athletes use products? Because there's an awareness. There's an awareness that I'm interested in reaching a certain result, so I am going to use the products that I can every way to make it happen, okay, and hopefully legal, okay? Yeah. People that want to stay healthy. I mean, Rob, what did you say the nutrition industry is how many? $120 billion? So is that in the U.S. or is that worldwide? Okay. But it's huge. But think about this. People that are using nutritional products every single day, how did it happen for them? It could be they went to their doctor. Their doctor said, you know what, Mary, listen, right now at your age, you need to be on a calcium supplement. You need to go get yourself one. And Mary, she made the decision. The doctor said it, I'm going to do it. And you know what? Mary's not going to debate whether she's going to do it or not. She's going to do it, and she's going to do it forever. Someone may have gone into their chiropractor. It may have been a friend that said, oh, I've been on these products. It's unbelievable. You know, I used to have digestive problems. And they said, you know what? I'm going to do it. So here's the situation. In general, the people that are consuming products day in, day out, month in, month out, are people that are taking nutritional supplements, not specific to losing weight. The weight loss industry is one of the most volatile industries. It's one of the most fad industries. It's one of the most difficult industries. And no one's done it better than Herbalife. No one has stayed ahead of the curve better than we have. No one's had a foundation of nutrition better than we've had. No one's had everything that could possibly be the next best thing more than we've had. And yet, the retention of our customers primarily has come from that being a difficult market for us. Now, how many of you, and I'll ask this because some of you I know already you're a little bit more nutrition-oriented, but how many of you would say your primary focus is weight loss for your customers? How many of you would say that? Like in general? Yeah, there's like a general thing. We have so many methods, tools, things, ways of getting to people, advertising primarily for weight loss. And we have a difficult time in keeping those customers. Well, if we are going to have a business plan to fulfill on every supervisor having 2,500 minimum every single month pre-sold, it's going to have to be in the nutritional supplement industry, or it's going to have to be in the personal care industry, industries where people buy the products on a consistent basis, and they're not just looking to lose weight, because we've had experience 25 years with that now. So we need to start focusing on that, okay? Now, this brings us to a point that is about the Herbalife brand. Let's talk about our brand for a second, okay? Around the world, and I don't know in the United States specific, but around the world, and I believe in the United States, that Herbalife is known as a weight loss company. How many of you would agree? Okay, yeah, that it's like Herbalife, oh yeah, they're doing weight loss. That is our brand image, okay? That is what people see us. Now, not everybody, okay, but in general, that's what it is about, okay? If we go above that and we look at our brand and we look at who do you think creates the brand image in the marketplace? Yeah, we do. Now, does a company can they impact it somehow in some ways? Yeah, and Michael and his team have been doing an unbelievable job of doing that already. Yeah, we can definitely applaud that. But the distributors, we are really the ones that go out there and create the brand awareness of what Herbalife is. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, because we're going to move into how are we going to now create the best plan to fulfill on this. Herbalife distributors, when they go into the marketplace, what do you think the message is that they're getting out? Like, not maybe like if someone asks you, how do you lose weight? We are trained on what to say to get them to be interested in our products. It's like almost immediate. You know what I mean? We've got the elevator story, we got the 5-minute story, we got the whole, like all of our stuff is revolved around, you know, action and response. Okay, that's the way that it's revolved. But I want you to think about this for a second. That the image that we have as a company and as a business in the outside world, the people that we come into contact, it's all generated by us. Okay, all by us. Now, if people were to ask you, like, Ellie, what do you do? You're an Herbalife distributor. What do you do? Good question. Okay? Paula, what do you do? Sound like a pitch to you? Yeah, sounds like a pitch. Paul, what do you do? Okay? Yeah, you had to take that answer because there was no, but honestly, when people ask you, what do? You have the answer that you've been trained to tell them. Oh, I help people to lose weight. Oh, I work with the #1 company in the world in weight loss and nutrition, and you have all of these answers that you've been trained to give people. But to be perfectly honest with you, it's really not what you do. Because if you're honest about what you do, so George, if you and I are like, how long have you been a distributor for? Almost 4 years, okay? So, George, you and I are sitting together, and like we know each other, and we're at a cafe, and I asked you, I said, George, what do you do? What would you say to me? Like, honestly, what would you say to me? Okay, so that's what you do. So you work with Herbalife, you help people improve their health. But George, what do you do? Like, are you full-time in Herbalife, part-time? You're full-time, okay? So what time do you wake up in the morning? 6:37, and what time do you go to sleep? 11. So like between 6:30 and 11 o'clock, you do things, right? Like, and we're not going to get into all the things that you do, like everybody does, or don't do, says Charlene, right? But an Herbalife distributor, what does an Herbalife distributor do? I mean, what do you do? Like, yeah, but okay, so you talk to people, but what are you doing? What are you up to? I mean, what are you trying to do? What is being an Herbalife distributor? What do you do? Okay, sell nutritional supplements? Is that all you do? Oh, we get other people to sell them also. And what else do you do? You mentor also. What else do you do? Teach. Okay, what else do you do? I get trained. I'm on conference calls. I go to meetings. I do. So being an Herbalife distributor, like honestly, like if we're in a conversation about what it is, what everyone in this room does is you try to build an Herbalife business. That's what you do. Isn't it true? Like, Nikki, what do you do? Oh, well, I'm an Herbalife distributor. I try to build an Herbalife distributor. What do you do to try to do that? I try to sell to customers, and I service the customers and try to keep them, and I try to find people that are interested in opportunity, and I get trained, and I go to trainings, and I get people to go to trainings, and I work with people. Isn't that what we do? Like, that is the occupation of an Herbalife distributor. So that is the image that we create out into the world. That is it. Herbalife, if you look at this, you know, Herbalife is a multi-level marketing company that distributes nutritional, personal care, and weight loss products through a distribution network. That is what we are. That is in the world how we are looked at as a company. That is how our brand is looked at. So when you, yes, Michelle.
I'm really glad you brought that up because I had the opportunity to go to Hungary this summer. And for reasons beyond my knowledge, they showed their EED, which I had never seen before. And it really talked about multi-level marketing, and we don't talk about it here. And I thought that was a great video because it explains step by step what multi-level marketing is. I understand it's from England.
Right, it's a marketing plan. It's our marketing plan video in Europe.
Right.
Right.
I just thought it was great, and we don't use it here, and I don't understand why we don't talk more about multi-level marketing.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Explain that to me.
Well, I'm not going to explain that to you because I don't have the answer why we don't talk about it, but I will talk about the fact that as a company and as distributors, that people know we're a multi-level marketing company. Like, it's known. I mean, I'll be on... That's different. Whether they understand it or not, they have an understanding for themselves of what it is. Right. Yeah, right. I mean, some people do think that it's a pyramid scheme. So what we're talking about here is you could educate people. You could go and educate them about multi-level marketing. That's not going to create what we're talking about here. That's not going to shift. Bringing that information is not going to shift. What we're talking about is that this group of distributors here and the worldwide distributor base, what we're up to, what we do is we focus on building an Herbalife business. And what we do when we focus on building an Herbalife business, you know what? We retail, we follow up, we recruit, we promote, we do all of these things that we do in the intention of building our business. That's what we do. So, and that's fine, and it's produced the result that it's produced, but that also creates our brand. That it also creates, outside in the world, what people see Herbalife is. Now, let me ask you something. If we want to have customers, and not just some, but enough customers that every supervisor in Herbalife has 2,500 volume points pre-sold of nutritional products to people that are consuming them every single month, minimum, okay? What type of brand awareness do we need to create in the marketplace to have people flock to us, per se, stay with us, and use our products forever? Is the brand of being an MLM company that distributes nutritional supplements, is that a brand? I'll tell you something. I have been to many, many countries, and you want to know something? The principal question that people ask about our products around the world is, are they good? That is the principal question. How many of you have ever met someone, it happened to me the other day, I had to buy a mattress. The guy says, what do you do? I said, I'm with Herbalife International. I wasn't going to give the answer yet that you gave, okay? And he goes, oh, Herbalife? Oh, you guys are a pyramid marketing company. He says, let me ask you something. Are the products any good? That was like his real question. Are the products really good? He says, do you take them? Have you been? Are they really good? Being a network marketing company does not create a brand image, even though you have the best products in the world, that people just say, I want to use those products. Because it's about a business, and it's about a business that's called a multi-level marketing business. The question is always, okay, you're in a business to build, to sell, to recruit people, and to do that. Are the products really good? Are they really any good, the products? There's always that sense of things. So here's the question. What type of a brand image do we want to create in the world that would be an image that would help to fulfill this? That would help to fulfill that every single, supervisor, distributor had tools, training, the company's image in the marketplace, had it be that people would want to use our products and that they would keep using our products. What type of brand would it be, okay? And I'm not going to we need to move on because we've only got 30 minutes, and then we've got to go on to the next thing. But let's look at this, okay? The brand that we would need to, or would be a brand that would be created, okay? Not created, but that would be helping us as distributors to have people attracted and people interested in using our products and wanting to use them. It would be created by us. It would be the distributors that would create that. Right now, we are distributors focused on building our business, and to build our business, we recruit, we follow up, we retail, we go to trainings, we train people, we mentor people. That's what we do. That is our 6:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. job. That's what we do, okay? Now, does it work? Yes. It works to the extent that it works. The question is there something else out there as a mission, instead of you just focusing on getting to where you want to get to, as a mission that would shift things in your business, that would have the fulfillment of the marketing plan become something that would be happening much easier? That's the question. This is something that we've been working on, and we worked on during the meeting in Boca, and it's kind of at a funny place because the company, Michael O. Johnson, has his mission for the company, okay? And I don't want to, because I won't use the exact wording, so I'm going to ask Rob to give the mission or the mission statement that's been created. Can you do that for me, Rob? Just because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Well, the vision is
Changing people's lives? Okay. Weight loss and nutrition. So the vision is changing people's lives. The mission is through the best business opportunity and the best weight loss and nutrition products in the world. That's does that sum it up? Okay. Now, as you go out into the marketplace, okay, and that's the corporation, that's their mission. So everything they do inside the company is built around having that occur. If you take that mission to the marketing place, is it something powerful for you? Yeah, it's already a very, very powerful mission, right? But is it going to attract customers to you? No. Is it, could it attract distributors to you? Yeah, the best business opportunity. But it's not going to be susceptible to have customers be attracted to you. So here's what we've thrown out. Here's what's not thrown out, but here's what I'm going to throw out. It's not something that's official from the company, okay? And that's why it's kind of in a funny place, because they have but what we're talking about is we're talking about taking on a mission and creating a brand awareness and a brand image of who Herbalife is and who the distributors are out into the marketplace that's going to be susceptible to helping us to fulfill on this. That people want to use our products, that people know that we have the best products, that people want to continue using our products, okay? And this is what it is. So, Herbalife, what we're up to, what the company is up to, okay, from the distributor's standpoint, as creating a mission, is really about bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time. If Herbalife becomes about bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time, and that is really what it's about, okay? What is the image of our company, who we are as distributors, going to be out into the marketplace? Yeah, well, it's like, if the company's all about that, do you question the quality of the products? Not really. Do you question the actions of the company or the distributors? Not really, because really what you're up to is about something that it's just not questioned the way, yes, I'm an Herbalife distributor and I recruit and I sell, and do you want to buy my products? It's a totally different place to come from. What do you guys, when I say this, bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time, how many of you find that a bit inspiring for yourself? Okay? Tell me what you find inspiring about that. Yeah, the one person at a time. Yeah, so, yes. Yeah, so there's something very powerful about one person at a time. Because who plays the role in the one person at a time? We do. You see, the mission of bringing health and wellness around the world, it's an incredible mission. And it's really, truly what I believe Herbalife is up to. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think it's been up, that's been it from day one, from when Mark, maybe not day one, because maybe Mark didn't see the world at that time, but from the time Mark started to look at the world, that's really what it was about, okay? We're just verbalizing it. Why? In part to create brand awareness for us that's going to help us fulfill on having people, okay, want to use our products and continue to use our products, specifically nutritional products. The one person at a time, that's where each and every one of us can have a role. And it's inspiring. Now let me ask you this. All of the people that we come into contact with, if someone was to say, you know, Nikki, what do you do? And you say, well, I'm with Herbalife International. And what the company's all about is bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time. What do you think that person that just heard that come from Nikki's mouth, they're going to feel about Nikki? Like the one person at a time, if Nikki asks them, are you interested in your health? The one person, that's them. Like, it's not like she's just trying to sell, but the company's commitment, the one person at a time, that's the reason why she's in touch with me, okay? So we're going to move fast here, and I'll be honest with you. This, how many of you are inspired right now? Yeah, like, no kidding. Like, this is, if we could show up as that in the world, do you think that people would be attracted to our company? Yeah. Do you think that customers would be attracted to our company? Yeah. Do you think that people that joined our company, if they joined to take part in that maybe they would stick around? Okay, maybe they would feel like they have an important role in something occurring. So here's what we're talking about. We are talking about what the company is all about. And I'll be honest with you, you're going to have a chance, and you're going to hear about this in a little while, to take part in something that is going to be created that's going to come from this. Like a chance to take part in being a group of people that go out into the world as this. as working for a company that's committed to bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time, okay? And what you're going to have a chance is to find out that the one person at a time in what you do, that there's a pretty amazing role that's there that becomes a role that becomes the fulfillment of that, okay? So Herbalife, that's what the company's up to, bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time. Who are we in that? Who are we in the matter? That's the company's commitment. That's our commitment. But who are we? Who? Yeah, we're messengers, okay? But who can we create ourselves to be that will have that occurring? That people that we come in touch with are people that say, hey, I want to know about what you're doing. I want to have the results that you're giving people. I want to, be a part of this. Well, if you look at what we do, the one-to-one is personal. One person at a time, personal, okay? The button, we're all familiar with the ShapeWorks button, personal weight loss coach. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have found that to be one of the most powerful buttons for having people enter into a conversation with you about buying the products, about weight? Yeah, it's like huge. It's like, you know why? Lose weight now, ask me how. It's a great button. There's been millions and hundreds of millions of dollars that's been generated from that button. But the button was also created to have some type of an action and some type of response. Like someone asks you, lose weight now, ask me how. And then what do? Boom, we go to pitch, 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 okay? What we're talking about here is something different. What we're talking about is personal, you saw that weight loss coach, but is weight loss going to give us customer retention? Yeah, it's tough. Now, do we do a good job of converting some of our weight loss customers to nutrition? Yes, but it's tough. We can't expect to stay in that and have that occur and have our retention with customers be totally amazing. We can't expect it. It hasn't happened in 25 years. There's a good chance it's not happening in the next 25 years. Wellness, on the other hand, we already know that that's a market susceptible to that, okay? So, personal wellness coach. Now, personal wellness coach. What does that say for you, personal wellness coach? I mean, yeah, it says this, doesn't it? It's like, that's my role. So if I was to say to DJ, what do you do? He says, oh, I'm with Herbalife International. We're committed to bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time. And I say, but who are you in the company? And DJ says, I'm a personal wellness coach. Isn't it logic? That's the company's mission. What DJ's role in that is a personal wellness coach. Now, I'm either going to be interested or not in wellness, right? But if DJ's a personal wellness coach and he's working with a company that their commitment is bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time, do you think that at some level, if I'm interested in my own wellness, that I'm going to want to engage in something with him? Yeah, definitely. And you know what? There's nothing scary about it. There's nothing scary. It's funny. It's like you'll see some of the people have these little badges that says, DJ, it says personal wellness coach, bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time. And by the way, people wear buttons and badges all the time, specifically badges all the time. And let's be honest, how many of you really don't really like wearing your button? Like you don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, my button, there it is, I missed you so much, I can't wait to put you on and go outside. Like it doesn't occur for you that way, right? Okay? If you're laughing, it's because it doesn't happen that way, right? But we have been trained. We have been trained. Put your button on. You know what I mean? And some people are comfortable and some people aren't. And for those that are comfortable, they do a great job. But the reality is that for some people, maybe I would even say the majority of people, there's a level of uncomfortableness about it. Why? Because someone might ask you how. And then what are you going to say? No, let's be honest. Someone asks you how, you might have to talk to them. Like you might have to enter into that awkward conversation of, be honest. Someone asks you something. How many of you go, you've been told what to say, you know what to say, but yet every single day people wear badges that say something. When you go to the bank and it says, receptionist. That's what it says, and then you go to the counter to talk to them, it says, consultant or whatever it says there. You go to the doctor's office, he comes out, he's got his badge, it says who he is. That's, and you know what they're up to, what you're there for and what they do. You go to, it's funny, even places, you go to like the supermarket, and you go to the checkout girl, and she's a checkout girl just because she's standing at like the checkout place, but she still has her button on, or her badge that says cashier, okay? It doesn't say like, I take your money, ask me why. It's just, it's like, I'm the cashier. That's what I do. I'm going to take your money. It's not, now, and I'm glad you can laugh at that, because like Leslie doesn't know what to think about that. Because, to be honest with you, it's not to poke fun at lose weight now, ask me how. Because that button has done and fulfilled unbelievable. I mean, if you couldn't calculate the millions of dollars of business and the millions of, or not millions, but maybe hundreds of thousands of lives that have been changed because of the button. But what we're really talking about is duplicatability. We're really talking about every person being comfortable with putting something on to go out into the marketplace that aligns with what we're talking about here. So if we work with a company and their commitment is to bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time, okay? And that's what they're up to. We are distributors. And the title that we have, the role that we play in that, bringing the health and wellness around the world one person at a time, is we are personal wellness coaches, or a personal weight loss coach, or a personal, skincare coach or consultant, advisor, whatever. That is what we rule. Or we're a personal lifestyle coach for people, teaching people how to change their lifestyle. If those are the roles that we take, isn't it just like natural? Especially if someone asks you, what do you do? If you have your button on or your badge on and it says Chad Pearson, personal wellness coach, bringing health and wellness around the world, and I see that and I say, what do you do? And you say, well, I'm with Herbalife International. We're committed to bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time. And who I am is I'm a personal wellness coach. There's absolutely nothing in that conversation that is to be feared. The greatest thing that we have with our people is they are afraid to talk to people. You know why they're afraid? Because they got to get into a pitch on something. Because they're there to build their business, and what they know they have to do to build their business is they have to sell. And they know they have to recruit to do that. And we have all these tools and trainings and techniques to teach them to do that, but it's not a comfortable place for the majority of them to be. Where if the mission of the company and your role in all of that is clear, man, it makes life so much more simple. It really, really does. So if that's what the company is about, bringing health and wellness around the world one person at a time, and who we are, our personal wellness coaches, all of our conversations, all of our actions, they're actions that are aligned with what the mission is. It's the reason why we meet with people. It's the reason why we talk to people. It's the reason why we are interested in getting more customers. It's the reason why we want references, because that's really what we're committed to, and that's how we do it. It's even the reason why we build an organization. If your commitment is bringing health and wellness around the world, one person at a time, do you think you need a huge business organization to do that?